someone that's starting their own business,
Yeah,
what advice would you give to them?
it's to be hungry for the work and not the money. It took my eye off the game, do you know what I mean? Darren's now using that and people are booking with Darren and he's earning more money.
You throw yourself in there, that's not a better way to learn.
No.
I think a lot of people give up early. Paint staples. Honestly, I'm surprised no one said it was unreal.
Yeah.
Long story short, I got expelled.
It has bitten me in the ass a couple of times.
Calculator, people use it. Who uses it? Every removal company apart from me.
And to be honest with you, it really affected me. Hi guys, welcome to episode 1 of MVE-CAST with myself and Rob. On these episodes, what we're going to be doing is speaking to different business people from all walks of life, not just removals. We're going to offer value. We're going to provide a little bit of entertainment, hopefully. And we're obviously going to speak about our own business venture, I-mve. So without further ado, let's get into it.
So we'll always start the podcast off with a question, maybe a business question.
Okay.
So this week's question is, for someone that's starting their own business,
Yeah,
what advice would you give to them?
good question. Personally, I would say,
Yeah, just from your experience.
Well, for me, when I started Warren's Removals, I wasn't hungry for the money, I was hungry for the work, so I just wanted any job that I could possibly get. I wasn't really quoting correctly. I was actually losing money on a lot of my jobs, but what I realised is I was gaining a lot of trust, I was gaining a lot of experience, and I was getting reviews along the way. So my bit of a business advice is to be hungry for the work and not the money, because in those days, you're mastering your craft, if you like. So yeah, that's my bit of business advice.
Yeah. No, that's. I think that's spot on. I mean, my advice would be, it's kind of similar. He's patient, because I think a lot of people give up early.
Yeah.
And as you say, a lot of people want it for the money and they don't do it for the education piece.
Yeah.
So patience, education, is like, well, that's what you see. Millionaires that they actually, people who win the lottery,
Yeah.
they can lose all their money because they ain't been educated on how to make money.
Yeah.
Whereas you see entrepreneurs, they make money and then they'll lose it all and then they make money again because they've gained that skill.
Yeah.
They've gained that skill and that knowledge on how to do that specific task.
I like it.
Whereas patience, just if you find a problem, then just deal with it.
Yeah.
And just keep going, don't quit.
That's perfect, mate. I like that.
Maybe a bit of hard work on the way as well.
Yeah, of course, yeah. Cliche. But what we wanted to discuss a little bit on this podcast is how we met.
Yeah.
A little bit about ourselves. It's important for episode 1, obviously. Let's just discuss the business itself and how we come about this little project of ours. So first, I'm going to ask you about your school life. I want to know about your school life, your upbringing, what area you went to school and how that went.
Yeah, okay, yeah, we'll kick it back from the school days. To be fair, I used to love school. I did. I love school, not for the education, believe it or not. I used to love it because I used to go there, play football, have a laugh with my friends. I weren't really in the top sets growing up, and my school, we had a lot of supply teachers in. So all the top sets, they had normal teachers, but the bottom kind of sets,
Yeah.
we had supply teachers. And then eventually, long story short, I got expelled.
What school was this? What area?
This was Birmingham, Langley High School.
And you're from Birmingham?
I'm from Birmingham, yeah. You should know that, mate.
I do. Just educating.
I'm not sure, yeah, but so got expelled from school. Never did nothing bad.
Yeah.
It was just stupidity, and then told by the head of year not to go back, and then I went back the next day, and he says, "I'm not joking, don't go back." So then I got changed every day in my uniform. But what they did allow me to do was go to Thomas Telford School on a Thursday.
Yeah.
So our head mistress, her husband was the head teacher of Thomas Telford, which is a private school in Birmingham. So they used to let us use their IT facilities, because we never really had computers and stuff. And I think that's when I fell in love with IT.
Yeah.
I ended up with a GMVQ in IT. I never got no GCSE, but I ended up with a left school with a GMVQ in IT and was learning the back end databases and stuff. And what I liked about IT and computers is that it kind of gives you a superpower. You know, because I weren't that good, very well educated growing up.
Yeah.
It kind of give me like, because I could use a computer and other people couldn't.
Yeah.
Like computers are more intelligent than
Yeah,
people, so
yeah.
it's kind of like I had an advantage in that way.
So
you know what I mean?
just put it into a little bit of context then. What year were you expelled? And when you said you didn't get any GCSE, did you take your GCSEs or did you not even take them?
So I never took them. Now I weren't allowed to go back. I was expelled. So I was expelled. I got expelled from school, and yeah, you just get expelled. But I never told my mum and dad. So my dad used to work away. My mum used to work. So that's when I got changed every day.
Yeah.
And
you did this for how long?
Played football with Ashley at the park because he got expelled.
Is he-
Funny enough, one day his auntie was walking his dog and he got caught. So his auntie's walking his dog. He saw us playing football and told his mum that Ashley weren't at school today. So his mum rang up the school and he was like, "Oh, we got expelled 3 months ago." So yeah, so Ashley went to another school. So I was on my own.
Oh,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
when did your parents find out?
They never.
They're going to find out now.
I told them on my wedding day.
Did you actually?
Yeah. No, I told them before that, to be fair. But,
Did you?
Yeah. When I'd done something in my life, I decided to tell them.
Yeah.
They used to rip the letters when they come.
Bloody
Pretty
hell.
funny, but yeah. So school was great in a roundabout way.
Yeah.
Then I ended up going college, university. Did that for 3 years. Again, I weren't really educated. Uni. I went for the social side of it
Yeah.
more than the education.
Yeah.
I'd say.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until I finished uni really, and I got a normal job where I was a bit obsessed with education.
Yeah.
So I started.
I suppose it's finding something you like, isn't it? Once you hear about something or get involved in something that you like, then
Yeah.
you will take natural where you pay more attention to that subject.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. Like if you love it, you're going to do more of it.
Yeah, of course.
So
yeah.
if you find a passion, they say you never work a day in your life, do they?
That's it, mate.
But
yeah.
I've found a passion. I've worked some hard days, to be fair. Yeah, but yeah. Uni was great for the social aspect again. It was just like an older version of school, but we used to go out, and I think I went there for the wrong reasons, really.
Yeah.
Looking back, but grows your personality, then it grows your character, should we say? And yeah, got in a lot of debt. And I started off in the oil and gas industry. Done that for 16 years. That's a high pressure, intense role. Kind of got to the top of where I can get in with my skill set in that industry. So obviously was looking for something. I did find a passion with, which was media.
Yeah.
That's when I started Born Focus, the media company. That's been going for 6 years. It's been going really well, in fact, and I think that's when me and you started business together, weren't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Because you kind of started your removal business, and then maybe a year later, I'd say.
Yeah, probably a year or two later. Yeah.
So I done my media company, and then I was kind of like was using me, and this is what I'd say to other people to do just starting out.
Yeah.
If you've got a friend, and you can collaborate with each other for businesses.
Yeah.
Give each other free. Like I used to give Warren videos, so I used to like learn, and then Warren had a big following anyway around this area, and then you'd put it out, and then that'd give me work. But I was learning, as we said earlier.
Yeah.
Learning it for free.
Yeah.
And obviously you was getting videos and you was getting exposure.
Yeah.
weren't you?
It worked out a treat, to be honest.
It did, yeah. So in theory, we've worked together. We have worked together in business for
Probably
the last
7 years, to be honest. But yeah, we've got a little bit of a different backstory, business-wise and school-wise. We'll get onto it afterwards. But me and Rob actually worked together before as a chef. We were chefs, wasn't we?
I forgot about that. Yeah. Well, I think you was more the chef, and then you took me in. Took me under the wing. Yeah.
But I think Rob was working at Staples at the time. I don't know if Staples is still going. I think it's called Office Outlet now.
It actually is. Yeah.
But Bob was working at Staples.
Yeah, it was.
Rarely showed up.
Yeah. But I'll tell you what, see the sick pay in Staples. Honestly, it was. I'm surprised no one said it was unreal.
Was it?
I mean, for a student, if
Yeah.
you're, I know. So if you're a student, yeah, get a job at Staples, and after you've done so many months, like you just get paid.
What, sick
for
pay?
sick pay? Yeah, you get full pay.
That's a good
Yeah.
little business tip then for students wanting to work at Staples. But yeah, my backstory school-wise, I'm not very academic. I never have been. Didn't really like school. I didn't even like it for the social aspect. I was basically going there because you have to go to school. I couldn't wait for lunch times and for school to finish, to be honest. I didn't get any GCSEs. I did take my GCSEs, but I really don't have a clue what I got.
Yeah.
I really don't have a clue what I got. But life just shows you different avenues, different pathways, and if you take the right choices, then you're going to find yourself, either successful running a business. Not saying that I'm successful, but I am running a business. Some people might look at it as success. I'm still trying to get where I want to be, but all I'm saying is you don't really need an education at school to make it in life. You just need to be hardworking, persistent, and carry a smile.
Yeah. No, I think on the education piece, I think looking back, I really, especially when I was high up in the oil and gas industry, I think some of my English compared to some of the privately educated people was a bit. But as you say, I think you do get other characteristics.
Yeah.
Because you have to. I think hard work's one as well.
Of course.
I think because you don't feel if you work hard, I think you work harder than the rest of them. Then yeah, I think without education, I think you develop other traits.
Of course. Yeah.
That excel. Yeah. So school wise, so did you not get any GCSEs, and then where did you go from there?
Yeah, so I didn't do further education. I got told by my dad, get a job and you need to pay me rent. And the only thing I could think of, which
How
was
did you leave home? Sorry.
home.
Yeah. Because you left home
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my parents broke up when I was in year 8, I think. And then the last 4 years of school was a bit rocky for me. So I went to move in with my dad, and my dad lived in Worcester, and I went to school in a place called Stourport. That's about half an hour away in a car. But when you get a bus, I had to get a bus from where I lived into Worcester City Centre, and then the bus from Worcester City Centre to Stourport. So my commute to school for the last 4 years, it felt like, was 2 hours, and the way back was also 2 hours. So my school days were 12-hour days. So the last year was really, really rocky for me, and I really didn't want to do it. Sometimes I'd pretend I missed the bus. So I just wasn't into school, really wasn't going anywhere school-wise. So I did take my GCSEs, like I said, but I don't really know what I got. I don't even know if I collected them. So I'm just going to guess at what I got. I just tell everyone I got A's.
Yeah, that's one of them. It's school education these days. I think there's so much education out there, online education.
Of course, yeah. It's a different world now, isn't it?
Yeah, I've done about 4 online courses, and I'd say find your genre and then go online and see where the education in genre, or see someone in that genre and then who's doing well, and then just follow them.
Yeah.
Just ask to show them about. Can I spend a day with you? I think that would be the best way to go.
Definitely. Just the other day, actually it's about a week ago now, somebody messaged me. I'm going to go into a bit of Warren's removals talk now, but somebody messaged me from Sutton Coldfield, wanting to start a removals company. Next year, so in January, he's going to look to buy a van. He's a scaffolder by trade at the minute. He doesn't like his job, he said, and he wants to start a removals company, and he offered to work every Saturday free of charge here. So it's Sunday today. Yesterday he worked free of charge, full day, just to gain experience.
And that's, I think that's 100% the way to go.
It is, yeah.
How long is he going to do that for? It's just until he realises how you work.
Yeah, and he wants to do a course with us as well. So he just wants to work, obviously become a little bit more familiar with removals, how it all works, and then dive into the back office where me and Luke do our business courses for removals, and learn a bit more about the back end of the industry.
So I think it's a great way to do it.
It is.
Really. How old's the lad?
I don't know, I haven't asked.
He
He looks a young lad, 25, I'm going to guess.
Yeah, and I'd 100% recommend that to to anyone. In fact, I wish I did more of that growing
Yeah,
up, because
yeah.
all them mistakes that you make, and then you're there, you're in the business, and you see how it works.
Yeah.
That's better than any, I don't know, any job role you.
Yeah, it's a front row seat, and it's a
Yeah, it is.
perfect way. And with any industry, I guess, but definitely with removals. Yesterday was a bit of a rocky day for him because he turned up and one of my staff members didn't show up. And he was supposed to pick up another staff member, which meant that two staff members didn't show up. So he got spread onto a different team, and he became a proper part of the crew yesterday. So he had a good front row seat of what's to come.
And that's what, and I think sometimes, especially with social media these days, people look at, like, say, for instance, people will look at you and they see the lot of the containers, and they'll see the social media, and they'll see everything's going great,
Yeah.
but you don't see the staff not turning up. You don't see clients, like some people, complaining. You don't see all the headaches and all the fires you got put out.
Yeah.
But that's why it's good for him to come in, see all that. Can you handle it?
Yeah.
If he can, then he's doing well, isn't he?
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, like going back to that, it's a very good way of getting, like I said, familiar with the industry that you want to go into. Just get in touch with somebody who does it. Go and shadow them for a week.
Yeah, without a doubt. So talk to me about how you started your removal company then.
Yeah, so I started Warren's Removals. I started it in 2014 by hiring out a van. So I used to hire out a van off a guy called John, who I used to work for. Still very friendly with John, absolute legend. One of my idols, if I'm honest. And he hired me out the van for £50 every time I wanted to use it. And I just wanted to earn £100 on a Saturday and a Sunday. Try and earn a little bit more money from what I was already earning. And then after about 3 or 4 weeks, I set up a Facebook page. And then all of a sudden, this is where it came in really handy for me.
I remember your first post. I remember your first. I'll try and put it up on the screen. I remember your first Facebook ad.
My post.
Yeah, post. Yeah. It was like your number and then like your picture. Yeah, it was like a selfie picture.
Mate, I've still got all of my photos on
Facebook.
Facebook.
Love to look back on that. Yeah, go on.
I'd never ever get rid of those photos either, because they mean a lot to me. It's how I started. So I started Warren's Removals by hiring out a van. I wasn't very good at charging customers. I really had no idea. But kind of going back a couple of steps, when I was growing up, my parents moved a lot, so I was always moving from different school to school. And then later in life, that actually benefited me, I realised, because now I know a lot of people, because I went to so many schools. I know a lot of people from every single school in different areas, you know what I mean? So when I set up my Facebook page, what I quickly realised is a lot of people were sharing it, a lot of people were supporting me, as well as my friends in Worcester and stuff. Then all of a sudden I just started getting messages, and then the jobs that were coming in were getting bigger. I was doing sofa moves to start with, like picking up a fridge and all that kind of stuff, the normal man and van stuff. But then I started to get calls for like 3-bedroom houses on completion days and 4-bedroom houses and packing jobs and stuff. And every single quote that I went into, I knew I couldn't do it. It was way above my capability. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. I knew for a fact I just couldn't do it. However, I just figured it out.
Was that like jump off a cliff and learn how to fly?
That's exactly right, mate. Yeah, I love that saying. But that's a perfect example, a perfect description of how I started. So I'd go and do the quotes. I remember it so vividly as well. I'd walk in, I'd always be nervous. I'm still nervous now. I even driving to any quote now, I've still got butterflies in my stomach. Because you don't know who's going to open the door, do you know what I mean? But I'd go in and I'd rush through the quote. I really would. I'd walk around, wouldn't take any notes whatsoever. It'd just all be stored in my head. I'd be answering any questions, just pretending I knew what I was doing, pretending I knew exactly how the removals industry works. And I'd fill them with enough confidence, then I'd go back. I'd figure out some sort of price. I'd text them the price, not email. It's a text message, or sometimes call. This is something that happened to me quite a lot. I'd call somebody, give them a quote of like 400 quid, say, and then they'd move in a month's time. And I don't even know what I've quoted because I forgot.
Yeah.
Because it's a call, because there's no paper trail. So we go into the job and I'm like, I don't move that. Not invoice, nothing. So I don't, it's how you learn, I guess.
But I think that's the best way to start. And like you throw yourself in there. There's not a better way to learn.
No.
Than that. There was not a better way to learn from you to go in there and just do it,
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
You can watch a million YouTube tutorials,
Yeah.
but if you do it, it's worth 100.
But there's no better training than on the job, is there?
Yeah,
Let's be
yeah,
honest. There's
yeah.
no better training. So yeah, it did backfire a few times. Obviously, if you're going in to do a quote and someone's walking around their house and you're not taking any notes whatsoever, and you're just looking around, and then they say yes to your services, and then 6 weeks, 2 months later they move, and then you get the guys turn up at my house. We get in the van. They're asking me questions like, "What's this job all about then? What we got today? What kind of stuff we moving?" And I'd literally just be like, I honestly can't remember.
What about your first? What about your first employee? Like what was that kind of mates helping you at the start?
Yeah.
Because that must be a hard thing in business to employ your first person.
Yeah,
You know
so,
what I mean? to
yeah.
go from a man van to a team.
Yeah, so it's all self-employed back then. It took me a good few years to become an employer. It's all self-employed, invoices, etc. But yeah, it's just friends.
Was it just friends?
Friends,
to start
yeah,
with?
yeah. Just friends from an old job that I did. I used to work at David Lloyd as a chef, and there's a guy called Jack that worked there, and he was my first guy that used to help me out.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And then I was using like Jack's brother, Rory. Rory's still with us now. So Rory's one of the longest serving Warren's staff members. Absolute legend of a guy as well. He's like my little brother. But yeah, it's just friends and family and people who can help out, who's available. You know, sometimes I needed 4 guys and I only had me and Jack.
Yeah.
And sometimes me and Jack would have to do a 4-man job and just do 5 trips.
I think you dragged me into a couple.
I actually did, I did drag you
back in the day.
Yeah. But that's how you learn.
You only did removals once, like. It's good for the back. Good for the back. And strength. Good for your strength.
No, I don't think you got the call up again.
Oh, gutted. Gutted. I quit when I saw the payslip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so obviously Warren's was born in 2014. We are in 2023 now, 9 years deep. In about the 4th or 5th year, everything started to get a lot more professional for me. And what I'm discussing this now because we're about to jump into the I-mve section, which is, you know, a little bit why this podcast was born, I-move. But yeah, so about 3 or 4 years in, a guy called Luke, the general manager, walked into the company, used to work with me at David Lloyd as well. And Luke was the kind of guy that was like, where is your calendar? Where are the processes?
Yeah, he's quite an organiser, isn't he, Luke?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's good.
And I said, Luke, I haven't got a calendar. He said, you haven't got a calendar? How do you know what bookings you've got? And I said, I'll just go on my emails and I'll type in the date. And if they've if somebody's wrote moving on the 4th and I've replied saying no problem, receive on the 4th, I'd know that we had a booking on the 4th. It's terrible how we used to run the company, but obviously Luke brought in a different dynamic. He was like, you know, we need calendars, we need rotors, we need some sort of system. So Luke started to bring in that side of things, which, because I'm just a hard worker, to be honest. I'm not that academic, like I said. I love removals. I started removals because I love lifting furniture. I'm one of those weird guys that just likes lifting furniture.
You know what? I wouldn't say it's lifting furniture. You know, I think it's because it's your baby, because it's your business. I think you kind of get addicted to I think you're in love with that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Whereas if you own your own business, it's different.
Yeah.
You fall in love with that business.
Yeah.
Unless you did like lifting furniture. Maybe you did, but I don't know. I think it's more the business than the lifting side of things.
Possibly, yeah. I called it Warren, so it's my name.
Yeah, of course.
So obviously it's my baby. I don't want anything to be tarnished with, you know, on my brand. But yeah, Luke brought in a different dynamic, which is amazing. We needed a Luke, and he stepped in right at the perfect time. And then Luke started to say, like, you know, have we got job sheets? How do you do this and how do you do that? So we built our own little job sheet, which really worked well. You know, it served us well for years. This job sheet that we used. So we'd go into every single quote with our phone, take notes, take the job sheet. So it all became a little bit more professional. And then we start thinking, is there any systems out there? There's got to be a removal system out there. And if there's not, I want to build one. And this is 4 years ago now, probably 4 years ago. So that's when the idea, the light bulb moment, it came into my head, and I thought we have to. So I actually got in touch with a software developer back then 4 years ago. This is my first stint, and I paid him 200 quid, not much money, but it was a lot of money back then. Didn't have much money, but I paid him £200 just to produce some sort of like a quote, if you like, and just to chat to him. I spent a couple of days with him. That came to nothing. I think he realised how much of a pain in the ass I was going to be, and how hard of a job it was, and also I didn't really have any idea. I just said, look, I've got a job sheet and I'm on a system.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I didn't really go in with a plan.
A bit like you did to me. Oh, God,
And then when you're doing the job sheets on your phone, using numbers, using pages, using WhatsApp, then emails, and then text messages, it all got a bit messy. You know what I mean? It worked, but then when it come to us sending quotes, we'd have to go into a quote, fill out the job sheet, and go back home, figure out the mileage, figure out the actual costs involved to carry out the job, then send the quote. There's a lot of copy and pasting, copy the name, copy the email address, copy the addresses, input that onto a Word document or something to send to the customer.
Yeah. It's just all manual, isn't it?
It's all manual, and every quote we were sending was taking 15 minutes to half an hour. But when you're doing 5-6 quotes a day, you're losing 3 hours a night, and it was just mine and Luke's whole day and night was gone. We were falling asleep with our phones in our hand, but we were so busy that we needed to keep up with the demand. So once we were doing these quotes, taking half an hour, losing all of our nights, we decided we needed to get in touch with the CRM. So we started using a different CRM, which was capturing obviously the addresses, the names and all that kind of stuff. So it wasn't so manual, but it still didn't really suit us. So the passion of mine to create my own software really wasn't going away. I just needed to continue with it. So I got in touch with another software guy, somebody that I know in Worcester, and then I had to pay him £500 just to produce a quote. Believe it or not, these quotes that the software people provide take a long time.
Yeah,
so
they do, yeah.
So you have to pay for that, even if you don't take the service. But we got a rough quote at that point, and this is before Rob had even stepped in. So I'm just going to walk up to that part eventually. But this is me by myself. So yeah, he gave me a rough quote of about 25 to 40,000. So it's a decent-ish window, 25,000 to 40,000 pounds, which is a lot of money. But he said it'll take a few years to build. And
you say a few years, did he?
Yeah. And you can pay as and when kind of thing. So I thought, well, I'll digest that. I think I could probably manage that over a few years.
So was he doing this on the side then? Was it like a side hustle for him as a software developer, or was he a software developer?
No, he was a software developer, yeah. But then once I'd actually had a few discussions with him, sent him what the plans and what I want and all that kind of stuff, which isn't anywhere near as complex as I-mve is now. But I sent him the plan. He came back with a quote for 80,000, and obviously I couldn't commit to 80,000. Plus, I really wanted somebody to be in it with me. I felt like I was by myself at the time. So that disappeared. £500 gone. Not much money, but still £500 lost. And then, believe it or not, I got in touch with somebody else. So I've only had this once, and this is something that I wouldn't even recommend. I've probably had a little bit of bad luck with it, because I know a lot of people use business advice and get business like relationship managers and stuff involved in their company. I did this with a guy, not going to mention his name, but I did this with a guy, and I started discussing the app with him, and he said, I know a software guy, and I'm up for going halves, and I'm too trusting, mate. I don't know about you. I'm too trusting.
Yeah, I'd say I am. I think we both are in a way, aren't we?
Yeah, it's something I wouldn't change about myself.
Because I think trustworthy people are trustworthy because you don't do it.
Yeah.
Then you don't think people are doing it.
Yeah.
Like I have noticed that as traits.
Yeah.
Growing up, to be fair, So maybe it was,
It's something I wouldn't. It has bitten me in the ass a couple of times, just trusting people too much. But I'm the kind, if you're speaking to me and you're telling me something, I'm going to believe you. Do you know what I mean? That's just who I am. And this guy was saying, he knows a software guy. He can get this done in 6 months. He's willing to go halves, and he was also going to give me free business advice along the way. So I thought I'd partnered up with like the dream candidate. Do you know what I mean? So I said yes. But stupidly, I sent him £12,000 because that's how much it was, like £10,000 plus VAT, £20,000. He was going to transfer 10 grand as well. So this was the starting point. And then 6 months on, all I had was a login screen, and I was pestering him, and I didn't have any direct communication with the software guy. I was only having to deal with this guy. Do you know what I mean? And I was starting to get a bit nervous at this point because I'd spent a lot of money and I wasn't getting
was the
anything.
communications within the 6 months?
Yeah, well, I was asking him all the time, and he said, "Oh yeah, they're still working on it. I'm going to get you some snippets and designs to you shortly." 6 months that was, and then after 6 months, I got a login screen, and then I started to investigate a little bit more. And in fact, what he was doing is he was using an outsourced company in like Bradford or Bournemouth or somewhere. I can't remember exactly where. But we found out that he was just giving his work to someone, paying, like this person was like doing a real cheap, nasty job, and he just pocketed all my money. So that obviously come to blows.
That's arbitrage, isn't it? That's what you call arbitrage, isn't it? When you get the work and then you give it to someone else.
Is it?
It's the middleman, yeah.
That's exactly what I was a corporate of. Yeah, and to be honest with you, it really affected me. Like, I felt like I'd been completely shit on, like really, really shit on. And I was still running Warren's Removals. Of course, this is my main business, but it took my eye off the game. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
For a month straight, I couldn't sleep. I was snappy. I didn't want to see anyone. All I wanted to do was just drive to his house. Do you know what I mean?
And I think sometimes as well, it's not the money you lost, it's the fact that you've trusted someone and then been done over.
Yeah.
I'd say that's probably more than it was the money, because you can earn the money back.
But it's the fact that I'd just been shit on. Do you know what I mean? That really affected me. It really did. But then after about a month or so, I started to realise it as well. And Tash, my wife, she was having to obviously support me and comfort me through it. And God bless Tash. I don't know, it would have been horrible to live with at that moment in time. I realised that I was actually not just affecting myself, I was affecting the family, and I was taking their time away, and I wasn't focusing straight. So I don't know how I did it, mate, but I swear to God, it was like a light switch. I just thought, forget the money, I need my time. This guy's swallowing my time now.
Yeah.
He swallowed my money, he can have that, I'll make it back somehow. But I can't ever make my time back. So all of a sudden, I just switched.
It's a great way to look at it, that is, to be fair, yeah. Because after the fact, it's taken up more of your time.
Yeah.
So if you just nip it in the bud now,
100%. Because let's be honest, with Warren's Removals, if he took a month of my time away from Warren's, I'm losing a lot more than £10,000. Do you know what I mean? So I had to look at it like that eventually. Obviously, still now, talking about it now, it's eating me alive, but it doesn't affect me as much as it did now. Do you know what I mean?
No.
But yeah, then about when I come out of the crappy zone that I was in, that is when me and you went for a meal in the family, and we had a discussion, didn't we? And I told you what had happened and what I'd just been shit on, and it wasn't even like a proposal, to be honest. At that point, I felt like I'd been through it.
I feel like you gave up
times,
on the software thing.
And I felt like I owed it to Tash as well. Like, I just need to give it a rest. So, software isn't for me. Do you know what I mean?
I think the thing about you as well, you don't stop, do you?
No.
You like, with your business, you would have seen it on social media if you follow Warren's, is that there's always something going on. You're never stagnant. You never say stagnant. In business, some businesses you see, like Removals 1986, and they've still got like 2 vans and they're the same. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
But like, I think with you, what I've noticed from the outside in is that the growth of the company, is that you're not afraid to invest in the company, and you're not afraid to like invest on brand marketing, like even the videos, every video, like it ups itself. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, you can't rest on your laurels.
Nah,
Even
nah.
the big companies don't. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
no,
Like,
they don't. Yeah,
how much money do you think Coca-Cola spend on
yeah,
advertisements?
yeah.
And let's be honest, we all love Coca-Cola. We're still gonna buy it,
And they
but
still
they
listen,
still
aren't they?
keep
Yeah.
plowing out those adverts, the marketing.
It's like Apple, is what Apple are doing now, because their iPhone has peaked. Now everyone's not buying an iPhone every year. So they've come out. That's when they come out with like Apple Music
Yeah,
and subscription models,
yeah,
because their iPhone was plateauing.
yeah,
So they come up with other innovative ideas,
yeah, yeah,
and they don't stop. Do you know what I mean? That's the biggest like tech companies in the world.
yeah.
You just can't rest on your laurels, can you?
You really can't, and that's when it will become a bit stagnant, and your staff retention might get a little bit floppy because there's no excitement in the company anymore. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So anyway, me and Rob and the family were having a meal. I think we were having a meal. I can't remember exactly, but naturally you speak about what's going on in your life, don't you? So I told you that I've just been shit on
Yeah.
and I've lost all this money and I'm really affected by it. And it wasn't a sales pitch whatsoever. And I never thought in my life that me and you would enter a software space. You know
No,
what I mean?
it's when if you look back, it's so random, but I probably wouldn't want to start with anyone else. To be fair,
Yeah,
I mean, it was when you asked me, it was kind of because I knew your background and how successful you've been in business. I think it was kind of a no-brainer, and I was at this point where I am busy. I'm in the oil and gas industry. I've got like media. I
yeah,
am very busy, but I saw your vision. I saw what you was using at the time, which was a good system. But I looked at it and I just felt we can definitely do better.
yeah,
And we can, with my skill set and your skill set, we could come together, we can modernise it, simplify it, and then yeah, it was one conversation, weren't it? And then
yeah. It wasn't like I even asked you though. It was like I was speaking and I could see it in your eyes. I could
yeah,
see your head ticking.
yeah,
And within like 24 hours, mate, you'd organised 4 different interviews with software
software
people.
developers, yeah,
I don't know how you did
yeah.
it, but yeah, it would all just come about, and it even didn't even feel real. Like, oh yeah, it would just fizzle out kind
Yeah,
of thing.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
that's kind of yeah, it is. But I think I just love business, and when I love business ideas and yeah, and this startup, and I think to do it with someone as well, to do it with someone that's your friend, I think it just brings that a different aspect
Yeah,
to it,
yeah,
which is enjoyable.
yeah,
So you start a business on your own, you're kind of on your own, aren't you?
yeah, yeah,
But starting a business with a friend, although it can have its negatives and positives, but so far, like you got a problem, and then they'll get you out, they'll bring a positive spin,
yeah.
and then vice versa.
Well, you have different views, don't you? Have different
Yeah,
perspectives. Yeah,
and I think with me and you, like I'll tell you something, and if it's yes or no, it's like it doesn't matter.
yeah,
You know what I mean? It's not like I'm worried about what you think or you're because
yeah,
the bond's there.
yeah,
You know what I mean? So
yeah.
it's not as if that
There's no
like
awkwardness.
there's no awkwardness. It's
No.
like, and if I think it's a rubbish idea, I'll be like, "Pff, like rubbish idea. And then
But I don't
like,
have rubbish ideas. You know?
and then you'll put a spin on it, and then sometimes that rubbish idea will actually be good. And I'll be like, oh, good. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
that's how it works out.
yeah, yeah. And the beauty with I-move, obviously, we created the structure of it. We spent ages.
Well, I built that Canva. Remember that Canva? That Canva. For those that don't know Canva, it's like a modern day PowerPoint.
Yeah.
Like
App.
yeah, that anyone can use really.
Yeah.
And remember, we built that template. Once we found the software developer,
Yeah.
we built that, and then we sent it. We should have a look at that. What it looks like now, actually.
Yeah.
But yeah, then we sent it. We found a software developer eventually, didn't we?
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
It's not just one developer, it's a team of developers that are working so hard. They actually understand our vision.
yeah.
It's amazing working with them. Like, we've really struck gold and they understand absolutely everything that we want. Like, I'm quite fussy. I
I'd say a bit of perfectionism and
Yeah,
with you. I think I'm more. I think I'm more like done's better than perfect, and you're kind of up a bit on the perfect side, aren't you?
Yeah, like for instance, I changed, like, you know, that when you do like a confirmed booking and the quotes and different like appointments on the calendar, you got different colours, haven't you?
Yeah.
I changed the colours.
We must have changed those colours about 500 times, and then when we actually released the software, everyone wanted different colours, and it was like, oh no, let's just stick to the same colours. And I think since it's been growing, people have just stuck with them colours.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I think we found the colours now.
Yeah.
There was this one stage where I think was let his receptionist do the colours, and then it was all like pastel and pink colours, and I was like, what does that represent? But like, nah, but you let him have it. That was good.
Yeah, but it's more about the developers, you know, they're just bearing with me when they probably want to like strangle me sometimes. But yeah, I'm so OCD with some things, and I know what I want, and also getting people like just to add a little bit of context to I-mve. We haven't launched yet. We're looking to launch imminently, but we've currently got 73 different companies signed up to I-mve.
Yeah.
That's trial period, and we needed those companies because we built the software from my specifications, which were just from me.
So we built it, and then we thought. So we built that software, and you was using it for about 6 months. We were like, okay, we'll let other people try it, and then happy days, and then we'll release it.
Yeah.
Which was like a year and a half ago. And then what we realised is that not every company works the same way as mine. So
I couldn't believe it.
yeah, I know. Yeah, he was coming. What cubic feet calculator? What's that? I remember you speaking to him on the phone. Well, we need to add a cubic feet. Not another feature was. Not another feature. No, this cubic feet calculator. People use it. Who uses it? Every removal company apart from me. And I was like, oh, we better add it then. So, and thankful to big shout out to the removal companies who's helped us. With the cubic feet calculator.
We've had some big characters as well.
With a lot of features. I think Craig was a big influence at the start. Both Craigs actually, weren't it? Craig Spain and
Craig from
Yorkshire
Spain.
Craig,
Craig Atkinson, Craig Burley.
Yeah.
Henry from Camp Van Removals.
Yeah,
just giving some shout outs here for the support and help you've given us.
So I like Sutton. They're always bigging us up. Sutton Removals.
Sutton's,
on social
Sutton
media.
Coldfield, I like that's Reese and Joe.
Mrs. is from Sutton as well, so close to the heart.
Close to the heart. And Jeff Archer played a key role in the cubic feet calculator because it needs to be a dynamic field, which basically means you can input your own. So not only do people use cubic feet calculators, right? They all have different calculations.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
It just blew our mind,
that's
didn't
still
it?
ongoing, isn't it? In our software. Yeah.
It's sorted now finally.
Yeah,
but so I actually got in touch with 5 or 6 different companies to send me their cubic feet calculator. So a bit of a backstory. Warren's Removals, we don't use cubic feet. We just do it by eye. We always have. But we understand we're in the minority. So I got a load of people to send me their cubic feet calculators, and all of them are different.
Yeah.
So how is it so different? So then we needed to reconfigure the whole system to suit anyone that can input their own now.
Yeah, so then now they can choose, effectively they can choose their own cubic feet calculators, whether it's for and how, what it measures in.
Yeah, because some people have different...
and it's even cubic feet and cubic meters.
Cubic feet and cubic meters. So something else we didn't realise, we didn't obviously expect to hit abroad. So, instantly we got somebody from Portugal using it, and somebody from Spain, and they use cubic meters, they don't use cubic feet, so we had to add that little toggle point on there. So
and then we changed it to euros. We
changed the currency.
So we can have currency euros and obviously pounds.
Yeah.
And that was
and dollars as well. So we're having to do this. This is stuff that we didn't think about until now. So that's why you have a trial period, because you learn.
And it's like the beta testing period. So the 73 people they're testing it, and the reason we took on so many and we're still taking on people is because we found out the more people that are involved, the more people give you feedback, and the better feedback, the better the software.
Yeah, and something that we're quite open and honest with is if you would like it on the system and it would work for others, we will add it.
Yeah, and to be honest, I'd say we've added 90% of the features what people have requested. Some of the bigger features, they take a bit longer, but the little bits and bobs, I think it was a stage where we had about 15 new companies, and then some of them were like, "Can you change this?" So we changed that, and then we're like, actually, another company would be like, "Can you change that like that?" And we'd be like, and then we realised actually we have to be
Yeah.
a bit of a filter here.
Yeah,
We'll
yeah.
take on the information,
Yeah.
and then we'll do what's best
Yeah.
for the software and for
That's it.
for all the people.
Look, one thing that we've realised is people that are moving across from a different CRM, they are used to their different ways.
Yeah, yeah.
Whereas people who have never used a CRM and have joined I-move, they're the easiest.
Yeah, they're the easiest,
they
'cause they're
don't
like-
mind. They're happy with what they've got.
I mean, I'll always say, I know it's our company, and we will say this, but I always say, if you are starting a removal company, or if you're in the first 2 to 3 years of your removal company, if you just register for iMove, it tells you how to run a removal company.
It does.
You get the job in, you got the on the workflow, get the job in, survey cubic feet calculator,
Or job sheet.
or the job sheet,
Yeah.
quote, and I'm not even removals, and
Yeah.
I could get the quote, get the quote for off the job sheet,
Yeah.
and then invoice.
It's
pay.
literally the whole workflow, isn't it? Yeah, yeah. And then along the way, the customer's journey, you've got a note section, which is time and date stamped
Yeah.
by the person who's actually wrote it. So modern, mate.
Yeah.
All of my staff
What-
have got to log in.
What would you say your favourite feature is in iMove?
There's so many. My favourite at the minute is vehicles.
The vehicle section.
The
yeah.
vehicle
What is
section.
that?
I was thinking then in my head, is it storage, is it vehicles, is it the quotes? Yeah, it's all amazing. I'm not just saying that.
Yeah, but why do you think the vehicle though? Why do you think the vehicle's the best section? Is it because you can keep an eye on the vehicles and you can maintain the vehicles with that section, and you don't miss anything?
That's it, yeah. So what we do in Warrens, I'll just refer to Warrens a little bit, is we do vehicle inspections every single Tuesday on the vans. On the lorry, it's every day it's used. So if you use the lorry tomorrow, you have to do an inspection sheet.
Yeah.
It's called a defect report. We've added all of this to iMove, so you can do it digitally, so you don't have to do it on paper.
Yeah.
Because what we were realising when it was all done on pen and paper is staff were saying, "Oh, I've lost it," or "It's in my bag," or "It's in the front of the van, I'll bring it in a minute."
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And you just wasn't getting it. Do you know what I mean? So we made it digital, so the staff can just do it on their phones now. And then when they've filled it out, it goes straight to the person who you want it to. So in the settings area, you can choose who that inspection sheet goes to. Luke is in charge of the lorry. So in the mornings when the guys do the inspection sheet, Luke gets emailed the inspection sheet. So instantly, Luke can see, oh, the wing mirror might need replacing.
So
He's not waiting for that piece of paper.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
It's instantly on the system
Yeah,
straight away.
it's literally in seconds. And then obviously on top of that, you can book in your MOTs, your servicing, you can maintain your vehicles really easy. It's just a really smart feature, and a lot of other people are enjoying it as well.
I'd say my best features, I think, which I didn't expect, which really it's not like a feature in the system, but it's our email delivery.
Yeah.
Our email delivery is unreal. So back in the day, my media business, I struggled. I was getting into people's junks. You know what I mean? Through Gmail and business Gmail.
Yeah.
I was going into people's junks, and I've searched everything online, and there's not much online where you can't physically see if it's been delivered.
Yeah.
Now on iMove, you can, when it gets delivered and when they've clicked on it, it actually tells you when they've clicked on it. Now looking at the back end, looking at our email delivery rates of 99.9% is
landing in the inbox.
It's unreal.
Yeah.
And I wish, in fact, we had an email the other day because we use obviously Gmail.
Yeah.
And we went into someone's junk, and it's like, we need iMove. We need to send our emails through iMove.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's like, do we like set up another software for our business, iMove?
For iMove,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
But that's one of the biggest features, because we've had a couple of clients come in, use iMove, just for the email delivery.
Yeah,
because you can see it.
Yeah.
And I think that's a real big feature.
It is really smart, the fact that when you send a quote,
Yeah.
you can see when it's been opened.
Yeah.
It's-
That's
It sounds so small, but it's massive.
it's
When I send a quote, because I've got OCD, I check every 2 minutes, see if it's been opened, you know what I mean? If it's been 2 or 3 hours and it's not been opened, I may have mistyped the email address. So I'm just going to give them a call. But what we're going to do, and by the time this podcast is released, it'll probably be on the system, but we're now going to get bounce backs as well.
Yeah.
So if an email address is spelled incorrectly, it will tell you.
If it bounces back, yeah.
Yeah. So that's going to be another major point, is it? There's so much to discuss.
Yeah, and I mean so. I mean, where was we? We was talking about like we've created I-mve. We've been 2 years in the making. A big shout out to our software website developer as well. She's unbelievable at design. Just look at our website. I think it's fantastic.
Yeah.
And yeah, big shout out to her because she's helped really the design of it.
Yeah,
as well.
yeah. Something else. Yeah, I actually forgot about that. There's so much that's happened, isn't there?
Yeah.
But yeah, what we realise is software people, they're not very design based, are they? They know what you want. They create the model.
Yeah, but they like they ain't got the artistry.
Yeah.
If that's a word.
They haven't, have they?
Yeah, and when we seen it originally, like it was great in the workflow, but it was just not like we like it modern, we like it slick, and that's what I love about I-mve: modern, slick, and it's simple. It's getting more complicated as we add more features, but once you give it 2 hours of your time, 1 hour of your time,
Yeah.
you know it,
Yeah.
and you can use it.
Yeah.
And I mean going forward.
Shout out to Alicia. I know you
Yeah,
just
yeah.
mentioned Alicia. Shout out to Alicia. If you watch this podcast, Alicia, thank you. You did amazing.
And if you need a website, we'll leave a link in the description.
Here it is. So 73 companies using it. Launch at the end of August.
Future of I-move is we will continue to be working on the performance module as we speak.
Yeah.
That will give you analytics of where you're going wrong, not where you're going wrong. It just give you stats where you can improve your company.
Yeah. So basically, run reports. It's something that we do at Warren's manually on our own spreadsheet. But we're integrating that into I-move. I personally am most excited about this one.
Yeah,
I'm really
I'm
excited.
excited about this one as well. To be fair,
Yeah.
and I'm excited to release it to our clients and our removal companies giving us feedback, because
Yeah.
I think we could tweak it to suit
Yeah.
to suit everyone. And it's how you get jobs. It's how you get jobs. How you learn
Yeah.
through business.
And where you learn where you want to spend your money, marketing wise.
Yeah,
So in a nutshell, what the performance module it's called, once that gets updated, it will start to give you your conversion rate. So how many quotes you're winning. So if you did 10 quotes and you only won 4, then you've got a 40% conversion rate. It will start to tell you that. It will also separate different quotas. So I've got Luke and George and Rory who do quotes at Woman's, and it'll start to tell you each individual conversion rate, where the work's coming from. So whether it's Google, social media, word of mouth, estate agents, all of that will tell you, where. And then you can also choose the time frame. So I could basically select 1st of August to the end of August, and it'll tell me how much work and where it's all come from. So high hopes for this one, Bob. I'm really, really excited about it, and I'm pretty certain it's going to come off well, because we have designed the formula which we've been using for years. So we know it works, we know how handy it is, and we have provided that to the developers for them to integrate.
and we've had great feedback off the pricing matrix. We integrated the pricing matrix. People were absolutely loving the pricing matrix, and I think they're going to absolutely love.
Let me just
this module.
the pricing matrix. I just want to give a little bit of a shout out and also reference something Darren said. Move it with me removals.
Okay,
He's now earning more money because of the pricing matrix, because he was misquoting beforehand. So we've now issued a pricing matrix. So all you need to do is you can put, I'm using 2 vans, I'm using 3 members of staff, and I'm doing this amount of mileage, and I'm using this amount of packing materials. And that's going to give you your cost price, and then you've got a percentage bracket at the bottom. So we price, it depends, every company is different, but we price, it varies between 50% to sometimes 100%, sometimes more, sometimes a little bit less. But on average, we're at 60, 70%. We told Darren that. Darren's now using that, and people are booking with Darren, and he's earning more money.
Automatically, his races by 10%.
Yeah, his prices are raising. He's still got the bookings.
And that's where you go. That's how you improve. You learn off other people, and that's what we want to build as well. With I-mve as a community.
Yeah.
We've got a Facebook group. We want to get that active. We want to help each other out. Any problems, we'll ask each other, ask our community.
Yeah.
Just provide value all round to each other.
This is futuristic kind of stuff, but we're looking to actually incorporate a way of communicating between everyone within I-mve eventually.
Within the system, yeah.
In the next 12 months, I think that'll probably come.
Yeah, I mean the future's exciting. We've got the finance module that'd be a big one. That I think we're going to launch. Then we're going to launch 2.0, which will be the finance modules, which will integrate Xero and QuickBooks to start with.
Yeah.
Xero to start with, then QuickBooks, and you'll also be able to see your payments, etc.
Yeah.
Within the system, which will be another big addition to the software.
Because we are passionate and we've got developers working hard around the clock, and nobody currently is paying for I-move, we are just basically telling the developers to keep updating it, and that's what we want, isn't it? Otherwise, if we say, well, can you update it once a month on a Sunday night, then it's going to prolong everything.
Yeah. So that's why we're doing the beta test. And it's like at the start of the podcast when we said, just kind of, you said about what was the question that I asked you, and you said
business advice.
Yeah. What's the advice that you said?
Be hungry for the work, not the money.
Yeah. So at the moment if you think about it, at the moment we're doing that.
Yeah.
So we got everyone in for free. We ain't charging. We ain't charged them for nearly 1 year now.
Yeah.
And because we're just testing, we're getting better, and it just goes to show that your advice, we're actually doing that.
It's something that we're doing naturally,
without even realising it.
Yeah. But that doesn't mean that we are rich. We will eventually need your money to keep paying for things.
You know what? I like giving his living, man.
Giving is a way forward.
Giving his living.
But something else that me and Rob have always said, and we truly will stick to this, is any money we get from I-move, we'll just go straight back into it to keep improving it.
Oh yeah, for the next 2 years, we're just innovating.
Yeah.
We're innovating, and we want to be the best in the industry. I think, to be honest, we're close to that now. We want to be the best looking in the industry. I think I already am. Everyone thinks he is. But now we want to create a good community. We have a few laughs on the way.
Yeah.
We don't take ourselves too serious. We take ourselves serious when we have to. And we love him where it's going, isn't it?
We are, yeah. It's something that, like you touched on, I was a little bit nervous having Warren's removals to run as well as the software. We're ducks out of water, aren't we?
Yeah.
But I'm really enjoying the process, and I'm very fortunate that Warren's removals doesn't necessarily need me every single day. So I've got Esther, Luke, George, and Rory that can control the company's back end, and then I've got the team leaders, Simon, Jason, Chris, and James, taking care of the move. So I can put all of my time into this, and that's what I'm doing. Which is why I'm the point of call. If somebody has a problem, any questions, they call me, they speak straight to me, and I solve it.
Yeah, and it's been a good journey. It's been a great journey.
But you know what they say, mate? The destination isn't all of the fun. The journey is all of the fun.
There we go. It's not about where you're going, it's how you get there.
How you get there, yeah. I think I actually got my phrase.
Yeah,
wrong.
I think it's...
The destination isn't any fun.
yeah.
No.
What I'll do, I'll put the real quote on the screen.
It's a mockery.
But yeah, so going forward with this podcast, I think we'll wrap it up now.
Yeah.
If you want to wrap it up.
I want to wrap it up.
Yeah. Might be an hour in or whatever. So yeah, going off the podcast, we want to get people on. We want to hear people's stories, not just people in the removal industry, but people who started up a business. We want to hear your business story. We want to learn off your mistakes in business. We want to learn off the good doings you've done in business. And yeah, we just want to create a community around business, really.
Yeah, just a business podcast.
Podcast called MVE-CAST.
And it will always be filmed. We will not be doing it on Zoom, and we won't just be doing it audio. It will always be filmed. We will be inviting you into here at Warren's HQ.
Yeah.
You can sit here with me and Rob, and yeah, we can discuss your journey. Something else that's quite special to me and passionate is business men and women who have been on this journey, found themselves in a bit of a dark hole alcohol-wise, come out of it, become sober, and are still going for it. So I want to speak to those people.
We'll put that video in the description as well.
The description is going to be bigger.
Yeah.
But yeah, from all walks of life, we want to have you on, and especially if you're in the removals industry, we'd love to have you as well.
Perfect. I think that's a wrap.
That's about it.
Have a great day.